Hey guys, Will Myers with Myers Massage and Bodywork, and today's rehab exercise and video is going to be about opening up the hips and releasing the muscles in the hips. A lot of tension develops in the hips just from sitting all day, standing all day, working all day. So this is going to be some helpful stretches to help you combat that, but then also make the muscles stronger to be able to do that stuff on a daily basis. A lot of times we're not getting to the right stretches and we're not doing the right things to make sure that we're relieving pain or avoiding pain in the future. Alright, so let's kind of start off with just a couple where we're just standing. Alright, so the first one, if you've ever seen my flexibility video before, you know the first one, standing forward bend. Alright, so I'll give you a side view here. So the main thing is I'm making sure that my feet are nice and straight. I can either start with them shoulder width apart if you need the help with balance, or you can bring your feet together, it's okay. What we're going to do to start off, make sure you keep the knees nice and straight. We're just going to bend all the way down and touch the ground here. If you're here, that's okay, it doesn't matter, try to get to your leg. If you can get all the way to the ground, take a couple deep breaths and make your way further. Maybe you go to the knuckles, then maybe you go to the next set of knuckles, then maybe you can go to the back of your hand. And if you want a little bit more, we go to the back of the legs, grabbing here and pulling our body down. If you can get to your knees, great. Okay? Doesn't matter where you are for that. Hold that stretch for 10 seconds, come back up, go back down into it for another 10 seconds, do it 3 times. Okay? Next one. We're going to take a wide step backwards. Now we're not going to imagine that I'm trying to balance on a tightrope, okay? I'm going to imagine that I'm actually putting my feet right where my hips are, just further back. So I'm going to have a nice stance out here, okay? So if you notice, there's a little bit of distance between the middle of my feet, all right? To show you from the side view, I'm here, and I'm down. Now, what we're going to do here is slide the body all the way down as far as you can, okay? Get a good stretch in here. Now, from this point, I'm going to hold this stretch. I'm going to pull my body down. Now, I may have a little bit more flexibility than you. I do this on a regular basis. So wherever you are is okay, but we really want to try to open up the muscles here in the hip flexors and in the core. Okay? So we're going to push down, keep the hips nice and straight or forward. Okay? Last couple seconds. Now, we're going to come up and let's switch to the other side, okay? So we'll turn this way, making sure that once again you keep your feet nice in line with your hips. Come on down. Now if you're here, that's okay. If you really want to take it down, really force yourself, challenge yourself, okay? This kind of depends on your daily flexibility if you can get this low. If not, that's something you can look forward to over time, but start out with whatever's comfortable for you. You gotta get into those hips and stretch those muscles. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to go into the sides. So if you notice, we're going to kind of make our way all the way around the hips. You've got 6 different hip flexors in there, so you need to make sure that you're challenging them in all different ways. This is going to be a real quick brief video, but there's plenty more stuff that you can do. This is just to get you started. So the next one, we'll start with our feet nice and wide. All I'm going to do is bring the body to one side. So I'm going to drop down onto this thigh here. Use my heel to hold my weight. I'm going to open up into this stretch. Now I want to make sure my foot's not back and my knee's not coming way over top of my foot there. I also don't want to have my foot turned out for this specific stretch. We're going to have it coming forward. Drop yourself into that stretch, okay? Alright, so you should be roughly around about 10 seconds. We're going to turn to the other side. Now when you transition sides, try not to come too high up into the air. Try to stay nice and low, okay? Make sure both of those feet are facing forward. Transition, stay low and over. Good. Now, if you're not here, that's okay. If you're up a little bit higher, that's fine. But challenge your body each time that you go back and forth, okay? Opening up the muscles inside the groin there, okay? Perfect. Last one for while you're standing. We're going to stand nice and straight. Open our feet up to just about shoulder width apart. We're going to take our right leg, take it out about 45 degrees. Now my heel is going to go where my toes were. So what that means, I'll show you from the side view with this foot. Notice where my heel is? I'm going to put that on a 45-degree angle where my toes are. Right there. So I'm not making a huge step forward. I'm also not staying really close. Okay? It's one move to right there. Now, from there, right, we should all be on our right leg. We're going to bend here at the waist, come down to this toe that's up in the air, and see if you can grab the top of that foot. Now, don't bend this front knee. Make sure you keep this leg nice and straight, because we're going to specifically be stretching the hamstring back here one at a time, okay? A very important muscle that leads up into the hips. So from here, coming down. Now, if you can't get to your foot, if you can come to your knee, perfect. If you can get to your foot, I'm going to give you a little bit of a challenge that I learned from Goes Kung Fu in Hartford, off of Hartford Road, excuse me. So, we'll take our hands here and create 2 levels. Now you've got ways that you can make this higher. The goal is to touch your forehead, okay? If you're here, great, take away 1 finger, okay? Awesome, now if you're there, take away another finger. So now I've got a fist with 2. If you're there, take away the 1, and now we have 1 finger. If you're there, take away the last one. So for myself, I'm here, so I can come down, touch the forehead, should just be bearable. Now, I'm going to take away that finger and pulse down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Whatever level you were on, it's okay. Make sure you're testing yourself, alright? Let's try the other side. So same thing, stepping out with the left leg, bending the right knee, at the left waist, stretching down. We're going to give ourselves a little hold first. And now here, go ahead and create your level wherever you're at. And pulse down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Good job. Next I'm going to show you 2 seated down on the mat. Okay? Maybe a couple more. 1 second. Okay guys, now we're down onto the mat. We're going to start with our legs nice and wide. The goal here is to kind of really open up the hips a little bit. We're just going to start off with just a very simple hip mobility exercise. We're going to start off with your right leg. Okay, we're going to first try to do this with our hands so that we're nice and balanced. Then we're going to try it without. Okay, so we're going to first bring in the right leg, bend the knee, and tuck the right leg in. Okay, try your best to try to keep that knee close to the ground. Next, we're going to take our left leg and go outside. Okay, you may hear a little bit of cracking, a little bit of tightness. That's okay. We're going to try to release those muscles over time. Make sure that everything is flat here. Next, we're going to open up with that leg we just moved, and then open up with the first leg. So that was one side. Now we'll switch to the other side. Bring your left leg in first. Keep that knee close. Take your right leg out. Okay? Once again, exit out, and finish strong. Okay? Now we're going to try with no hands. Alright? If that is difficult, you can still use your hands, of course, for support. Don't hurt yourself. If you're ready for it, give it a shot. Okay? So right side in, left side out, right side out. Left side in, right side out, right side out, left side out. Okay? Now, the goal there is to kind of work with that pace. You want to make sure that your feet aren't dragging the mat. Okay? You need to lift them up off the ground and use the muscles in your hip to open that up. Okay? Now, just as we did that, we're going to use 2 of those and turn them into a stretch, and then we'll have one final stretch. So, first one will come inside like so. So this was that very first move. So let's go ahead and work with this hamstring here. So we're going to point our toes up to the ceiling, come down and stretch. And this here can be a 10, 15, 20 second hold. Okay? So now we can open up, same thing on this side, coming down. Okay? Once again, another 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Now, once you've finished up with that, we'll open up wide as you can. Best way to do that, one hand in front, one hand in back, and try to really separate the body. Now from here, all we're going to do is come down and forward. Take a couple breaths when you're doing it. Take your time. Slowly bring yourself to the ground. Now what I'm doing is I'm touching my elbows to get myself down. I've also already stretched for the day. So what you want to do is make sure that the legs are up, toes are up as well, straight down. When you get down there, hold for about 30 seconds. Okay? In time, things are going to loosen up and be a lot easier. Alright? Last one I'm just going to go ahead and display for you. It's a variation of the classic frog stretch. So I'm going to open up as wide as I can here, making sure that the feet are directly behind the knees. I'm going to come down to my elbows and push the whole body back. Then I can release forward, and once again, push the whole body back. Now you can work with that 5, 10, 15 times. One step that I'm going to take past that is take my left leg out and point my toes. Now from here I'm going to roll back and forth. All I'm doing is turning my foot, but what I'm really doing is opening up a lot of the muscles in the hip there. Okay? For those of you who can do this and want to take it to that next level, point your toes up, keep this leg straight, walk yourself back and sit down. Now from here, reach towards the foot and stretch. Okay? Now of course, as you can see, we've got a nice long stretch here. All we can do, we can move the hands different ways to pull the body down. Okay? So just to keep everything even, let's go ahead and try the other side. Get a couple rotations in before you just drop down into your stretch if you haven't really warmed up this side. And we fall into our stretch. Alright. To get up, of course, we take that center hand, put it right before the groin, push up with the back hand, up onto the front hand. Okay? Alright. So that one was a little long, but I seriously hope that that helps. There's a lot of stuff in there, and there's so much more that you can do. Getting the hips to loosen up is going to be a daily battle, because think about what you're doing daily anyway. It's something that's going to help either make sure the hips stay locked, or too loose, or something like that. For the most part, it's locked. We're either sitting or standing all day. And even if you're moving all day, that's not necessarily the best things for your hip either. So you got to make sure you're doing your rehab. Thanks for watching. Check out some of the other videos. Bye.